Okay, we have already painted the backdrop and we are working our way through the halo section that is part of our high impact halo sectioning technique. This is where your detail work is, this is where your time consuming work is, and this is where the work that makes your artwork stand out and be extra special should live. So here we go. I am doing a traveling rainbow around my client's head today. We've got a more solid backdrop, which is the section that's already been painted. And then you're gonna watch me paint pastel rainbows throughout the entire halo section. The key here is anytime you're doing detail work, especially with creative colors, to take teeny tiny sections, make them as thin as you can see through, like I would be able to read a magazine through this section, and make sure that you're painting not only the top, but also the bottom of the section. Remember, I have those quality touch foils, the balayage film that is covering the blue, so I can paint directly on top of that, which I love. The other thing that you'll see me do is basically blend as I go. So once I get the yellow on, the green on, you'll see me blend. Blue is really unforgiving, so you'll see me blend that right away. I'll wipe my hand off and then I'll go straight into the purple. Once I have a good blend throughout the section, you'll see me drop it down. I'm going to time lapse this because I'm literally doing the same thing throughout this side of her head. Now I'm doing like a pastel pink, pastel coral, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Now, as we work our way through the crown, if you guys have followed me for a while, you want to make sure that this crown section is thick enough that it will fall over any sort of calic or any sort of parting that your client has in the back of their hair and stay consistent throughout that. So I actually dip down a little bit in the crown when I'm doing my high impact halos, and you'll see me not only paint through the top, but also paint through the bottom. I've adjusted the camera here so you guys can see the length of her natural hair. Remember, we've already custom colored extensions that are actually going to go in this as well. The great news about this high impact halo sectioning technique is if you paint your halo high enough, it's going to fall over the length of the extensions and still show as you planned. Now I'm doing diagonal back sectioning throughout the halo. That's my favorite way to do it. It seems to travel around the head the easiest and get the best results. You can also make sure that you're taking small enough sections throughout the halo to get really consistent results as well. As I work my way up to the top, I want to make sure that the side of her head on both sides is very consistent, just because I'm doing a more of like a traveling rainbow, which we've never done before. My other favorite thing to do, which I haven't really shown you guys yet, is this high contrast crown section. This is big 1.5 to 2 inch sections that are pretty solid throughout. I love the nod to the 90s. It's got that heavy contrast to it. I would not be able to do this without these balayage films because I'm literally painting directly on top of the film. And you can kind of see from the side that I'm taking these big sections. Here it is processed. We are sitting and kind of waiting. You can see the separation between the balayage film and the other sections, just keeping it able to stay clean. I'm like a neat freak when it comes to creative color. I like all my sections to be taut and clean and to stay clean during processing. I pulled them out right before I shampooed them out. I just wanted to show you guys how pretty they are. It just makes my heart so happy. I hope that you guys find that love in hair as well. Now, I did include the rinsing in this, and the reason for that is because people always ask, how in the world do you rinse all those colors together without them running together? Well, you can't feel the cold, but it is cold, cold water on high pressure. And look, the yellow is still there. Now, if you guys are creating content and you are wanting to capture an audience that's, you know, like for me, creative color, I'm always going to get as much content as I can. I think this hair is beautiful when it's wet, so I made a lot of content with it wet. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is look at that crown section where we had that high impact. Look how clean it is because of that balayage film that I used. You can also see that beautiful traveling rainbow throughout. We've got a heavier section through the bottom, and we don't even have her extensions in yet. Remember, hair always looks darker when it's wet. So as we dry it, you're really going to get to see how pastel this hair is. And remember those extensions that we've already colored. We're going to find the perfect place to blend those in with this look. Now, if you guys are content creators, get a few videos of you combing through this magical hair, take a few snapshots, and then here is our hair dry, you guys. Obviously no conditioners on it because we're putting extensions in, but I did want to show you how pastel and magical it started off. Just wait till you guys see all of the Donna Bell extensions that I colored for this beautiful head of hair.